Hi guys, and welcome to day 2 of this 14-day challenge. Thank you so much for joining me. Very curious to know how you're feeling after yesterday. I was actually just practicing a little bit and I can feel my abs for sure. Today we're going to be working on our glutes. Our glutes and our core together, again, I mentioned this a lot, but I know that a lot of us struggle with it, have been really important for me to work on in order to relieve any pain that I feel in my back, especially after having had my daughter. And a lot of times when you will go see a physio, when you're struggling with lower back pain, they will make you work on your bum. So hopefully the exercises from today help you, whether you deal with back pain or not. They are really good exercises, especially because I've found as I teach yoga, as I practice it, that when we have weak glutes, other muscles in the body start to compensate. So in yoga, you start to feel it a lot in your quads, for example. So it's good to get a sense of what it should feel like when we're trying to engage our glute muscles, and no better way to do that than to really focus these 30 minutes on our butt. I'm going to apologize in advance. We have construction going on next door, so at some point you might hear some crazy noise. I'm hoping that this bad boy blocks it out. But let's start today's practice lying down. So coming to lie down on your back, bending your knees, and we're going to start off in probably the most traditional way to really start to feel and engage those glute muscles, and that is with our glute bridge lifts. So coming into a bridge position where we're going to lift and lower the hips. First of all, I want you to really make sure that the alignment feels right. Your feet are hip distance. You're drawing your heels in a little bit. So usually recommendation is that your middle finger can touch the back of your heel. Inner thighs, you want to engage your inner thigh muscles so that the legs don't splay outwards. And again, really squeezing the glutes. You might even want to touch them to make sure that they're sort of firing up. And then start to tuck the pelvis, hands planted down on the mat. And we're just going to lift our hips up, really squeezing the glutes at the top, and then lower them back down. Easy 10. So we're moving on to our 9. Lower the hips. We lift for 8 and lower. 7, lower. 6. Last 5, lower. 4, really press into the heels. 3, 2, and 1. Lower the hips back down. Now is when it gets a little bit more challenging. Now again, if you're like me and have struggled with lower back pain, I want you to take this one slowly. I'm going to give you guys 3 options. So we're going to do the same bridge lifts but with a leg lifted. You can lift the leg straight up into the sky as you push the hips up. You can bend the knee, which makes it a little bit easier, or you can hold the knee, which makes it a little bit harder. All right, however you're going to position yourself, we're starting with the right leg, so either straight leg or bent knee, whether you're holding the knee or not. Firmly press into that left foot. Again, weight is in the heel, and most of the things that we do to try to engage the glutes, we're trying to put the weight of the body into the heel. Now press into that heel. We're going to lift the hips up and lower, lift and lower. 8 more. Lift, lower. 7, 6. You've got this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Release the right foot. Again, when I talk about weak glutes, I felt that a lot in my quads. So if you're the same, it just seems to highlight areas of the body that we need to focus working a little bit stronger on. So whatever variation you're doing on the left side, whether it's straight leg, bent knee, holding on to that knee, we're going to press into that right heel, really squeeze the glute, make sure it's engaged, and then lift the hips up and lower. Lift, lower. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Hug those knees into your chest. Maybe a little rock, releasing any tension in that lower back if it did build up. Please always remember to stay away from anything that actually feels painful. Your body has an amazing way of communicating with you. It's important to listen. All right, we're going to release our feet back down onto the ground. We're going to still work with those bridge lifts, but this time we're going to do it a little bit differently. I'd like you to take your right leg long, bending into that left leg, planting the hands firmly down on the mat. And this time as you lift the hips up, see if you can lift the leg. You're either going to come all the way up or just come to an angle where where your right leg is following the direction of your left leg, and we lower back down. So you lift and lower. Lift and lower. For 7, for 6, for 5, for 4, last 3, for 2, and 1. All right, bring it down. You might have seen my leg going at different angles. I think it's really important for us to pay attention to what feels right in the body. So play with different directions and try to get a sense for where you feel the engagement the most. We're moving on to the left-hand side. So right knee is bent. Squeeze those glutes, get them nice and engaged. We're gonna lift the hips up and lower. Lift, lower. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, I'm really starting to feel those glutes fire up now. So knees into chest, little rock and rolls. We're gonna cross at the ankles, come forwards and backwards a couple of times just to massage the spine. And then if those ankles aren't crossed, you cross them, plant the hands, come into a tabletop position. Whew. All right, guys. So this is essentially what you will find all over YouTube when you look for glute exercises. It's the more traditional ones. I think you get it quite a bit in things like Pilates. But we're going to start by reaching our right leg long. I'm going to ask you that you point your toes, and we're just going to work on lifting and lowering that leg. But as we do that, I want you to remember what we learned in our yoga practice, to really hug the ribs and the belly and to really push the ground away and focus on engaging through that right glute. So let's get started. 10 of these. We lift and lower. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, lift it back up, bend the knee, flex the foot. Same thing, but we pulse up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that leg long again. We're going to lift it up and then slide it to the left and come back up as high as you can. To the left and lift. For 7, lift. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, bring it back to center. Give yourself maybe a little moment in child's pose, or give yourself a little wiggle, releasing any tension anywhere, maybe rounding, doing a little cat-cows, because we're moving straight on to the left-hand side. So option to tuck your right toes or not. Again, I feel like it gives me a little extra grip when I do. Left leg is going to reach long. We're going to point our toes. 10 of these. So lifting the leg up high and releasing. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, bring it back, bend the knee, flex the foot. We're pulsing up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the leg long again. We lift it up, draw it to the right, and then lift it as high as you can. Let's do it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, release that left knee. Give yourself a little shake out however you need it. We are going to give our legs a little stretch by coming into our downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, and then just give yourself a little moment here to really stretch out the full body, whether you bend one knee, bend the other, sway the hips, shake out the head. Whatever it is that your body feels like it needs right now, allow yourself to give it. All right, so similar exercises to what we were doing in our tabletop, but this time holding our downward facing dog. I want you to reach your right leg up towards the sky, and we're just going to pulse that right leg. So pulsing it up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Making those movements bigger, so lower the foot down and lift it up, down and up. 7, up, 6, up, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the right foot down. Left leg floats up. Point the toes and pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make it bigger. Flex the foot. We lower down and lift. Down, lift. For 7, for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Release it. Bring your knees back down onto the ground. Give yourself a little child's pose. So stretching it out a little bit, and while you're here, I'll chat to you a little bit about our glutes. So you've got your 3 sort of chunks of the glutes that we tend to focus on. So the glute med, glute max, and glute min. I'm sure I'm going to get it wrong, but it's the 3 sort of, let's call them sizes of your glutes. Now, a lot of what we were just focusing on was the glute max. Glute med comes out to the side, and that's what we're going to focus on a little bit more now as we do leg exercises, bringing our leg out to the side. Now, I'm going to be the first to admit this. This is where my real weakness lies. I actually find that my legs cramp when I do a lot of these exercises. So just be mindful of what you're doing. Again, listen to your body. Only take it as far as feels good. And when you're ready, come back into that tabletop position. Toes are tucked. This time we're going to bring our right leg out to the side as if we're sort of a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. And then we're just going to lower the knee back down and lift it back out. Lower and lift. For another 7, we lift. 6, lift. 5, lift. 4, last 3, last 2, last 1. All right, make sure you have space. This one's a lot harder. We're going to bring the knee out to the side, but this time you're going to bring your leg long, and we're going to lower the leg down and lift, lower and lift. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, lower that foot down. Lift yourself up. Both of my glutes are like, what is that? Slide your right hand down your right leg. Let's give ourselves a little stretch. It's tough. And it even goes to show when you try to practice these things regularly, you can still have weaknesses in the body that you need to work on. All right, come back to center. We're gonna do the left-hand side. Wow, my right leg really feels that. I love it because you start off and you're like, this doesn't feel so strong. And then you're like, nope, yep, feel it. All right, guys, so we're bringing the left leg out to the side as if we're peeing on a fire hydrant. Flex that left foot. Lower down. We lift up. Lower down for 7. Lower and lift for 6. Lower and lift for 5. For 4. For 3. For 2. For 1. Once again, make sure you have space. If you have to move around, please feel free to do so. Left leg out to the side. We're going to lift and lower, lift, lower. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that left leg long. I'm telling you, it's starting to cramp. Lift yourself up. Slide that left arm down. Give yourself a lovely stretch here. All right, take one more breath. Bring it back to center. There's something that I forgot actually at the beginning of our practice, and it's one of my favorite exercises. So let's go ahead and do it now. I want you to come onto your right-hand side of the body. Lower the your right forearm down. So right forearm's down, right knee's down. We're bending our knees. Stacking the left leg over the right. I've done this in my class before. So those of you that have been practicing with me over on Kula will recognize this. But these are sort of clam exercises, but we're going to go a little bit further because we're going to lift the hips as we open that top leg. So if you want to practice this just one time, you're just pushing the hips up and then opening the left leg with the last option of lifting that left leg off of the right and then lowering back down. Ooh, I'm already out of breath. You guys have got this. You ready? All right, we lift and lower. 9, lower. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. Take it to the other side. Left hand side is down. Left forearm goes down. Again, it's a bit of a strange movement, so if you want to just take one to practice, we're lifting our hips off the ground and opening that right leg with the option to lift it up and then come back. 10 of these. Let's do it. We lift and lower. 9, lower. Lift high. 8, lower. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, well done, guys. Oh my goodness. Come back onto your back. Let's give ourselves a nice little happy baby for a moment. So grabbing onto the outer edges of your feet, drawing those knees in towards the armpits. Don't get too comfortable. We're not done yet. I will give you guys some really yummy stretches before we finish things off. Take one more breath here. And let's start to rock and roll again. Forwards and backwards. Massage that spine 2 or 3 times before you cross at the ankles, plant the hands, come back into your downward facing dog. All right, my lovely yogis. I used to do these with my trainer. And I'm not gonna lie, I hate them, but I know they're good. Reach your right leg high to the sky, and then step your right foot between your hands. Arms are gonna float up. We're gonna come into our high lunge if you don't fall over like me. Square those hips. Sink a little bit lower. Get that nice stability. So we're really trying to squeeze inner thighs, stabilize pelvis. We're gonna work on those knee taps. So the nice thing is I'm not making you come forward and backwards. If you would like to do that to add a little bit more, please feel free to. Otherwise, we're gonna stay static for this one. So arms can be up, arms can be in prayer, they can be by your side, whatever feels best to you. And make sure that right knee is bent. All right, we lower the left, and lift for 9, for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, please don't hate me. I know you're going to feel this after what we just did. Stay exactly as you are. I want you to hover your body forward. Tuck the right hip in. Arms float back. And we hold here statically. Keep drawing the ribs and the belly in. Keep hugging that right hip in, bending through the right knee for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hands to the floor, right leg to the sky. Give it a little shake. Maybe open the knee. Maybe give yourself some knee circles to release. And then bring that right foot next to the left. Man, I can feel the difference between my two legs just doing that. All right, left side, left leg to the sky. We inhale. Exhale, left foot between your hands. Arms float up to a high lunge. Maybe arms stay here, maybe hands to heart center. Maybe arms to your side. Make sure you've got all of that alignment squared off. So stable pelvis, bending through the left knee. Take a breath where you are, and then lower the right knee to a tap and lift for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your high lunge legs. Hover the body forward. Tuck that left hip in. Arms to your sides, belly in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands down, left leg up, open the knee. Maybe create those little circles. Well done, guys. And then slowly release left foot down to the ground. All right, my fellow yogis, right leg to the sky. Exhale, right foot between your hands. Turn to the left of your mat and find your half Skandasana. We're gonna move across our mat, trying to keep it as low as possible, bending into the right knee and coming back. So feet together to the left, knees bent. Out to the right and bring it back. Keep it low the whole time. Right and back. We got 7 more. 7, back, 6, back, 5, back, 4, back, 3, back, 2, back, 1. I want you to bring it back for a moment. Keep the feet hip distance apart. And we just pulse here, up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, weight of the body in the heels, 3, 2, turn to the top of your mat and take a forward fold. Woo! Again, releasing any tension out of those legs, giving your legs a shake or hitting the legs if that feels good to you. Well done, guys. We're almost done. Hands top of the mat. Left leg floats up. Bring your left foot in between your hands. Turn to the right of your mat. So I'm going to turn to face you guys, but you're facing the other way technically. Left knee is bent. Bring left to right. Both knees bent, and then step it out. Bring it back and step it out. Back for 7, back for 6, back 5, back 4, back 3, last 2. Well done, guys. Last 1. Bring it back, hold your chair, and pulse. You got it, guys. Keep going. 8, 7, 6. See if you can lift the toes. 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn to the top of the mat. Find your forward fold. Any movement that works for you, please feel free to do what feels right. All right, guys, that was it for the tough stuff. Let's get some stretches in before we finish. Walk your hands forward into your down dog. Right leg to the sky. Right shin to the ground. If you have knee problems, please come into your reclined pigeon. If you need support, please feel free to add blocks. Otherwise, we open up through the chest, take an inhale, and then release yourself down as you exhale. Now, while you're here, I'm just going to talk you through something that I think is really important to remember. In our yoga practice, a lot of times we assume things need to look a certain way when we forget that what matters most is how they feel. So in this pigeon pose, remember that you're trying to get a stretch on exactly what we just worked. So our glute muscles, maybe down into that IT band. If you're not feeling it there, allow yourself to move a little bit. You can always drop your hips towards the right and walk your hands to the left if you feel that takes you a little deeper. Some people might want to do the opposite and square the hips and take their left arm underneath the right and release left shoulder and ear to the ground. See what works for your body. Remember, this is your practice. And then allow yourself to hold that pose as you surrender into it. So every exhalation is an opportunity to just fully and completely let go. Beautiful, guys. We take one more breath where we are. And then slowly plant the hands, tuck the back toes under, reach that right leg up, give it a little shake, release it back down, and we move on to the left-hand side. So left leg up to the sky as you inhale. Release your left shin down. Again, any variations, modifications, we take an inhale where we are, and then exhale to release. So making sure that you're feeling it in the right place. And though it's intense, it is an intense stretch. It never feels painful. So allow yourself to sort of teeter on the edge of discomfort and try to find ease within that discomfort. So really focusing on your breath, breathing into any areas of tension. And every exhalation, will yourself to let go. Lovely, guys. Take one more breath where you are. Slowly start to lift yourself up, plant the hands, tuck the back toes under, sweep that left leg up to the sky, give it a good old shake, release it back down. We come onto the balls of the feet, gaze goes forward. You can step, hop, float through to seated and back onto your back. Final twists. Just to finish our stretches off, so knees in towards the chest. I'm going to share with you my favorite, but I'm going to give you several variations. So allow the right knee to stay in, left leg goes long. We shimmy our hips to the right. There's an option for you to double wrap your legs. There's an option to just take that right leg across the body and keep it simple. It's really important to make sure the shoulders stay connected to the ground. Otherwise, and something I feel like really helps me in this stretch, is to bend the left knee, grabbing onto that left foot with my right hand, and then grabbing onto my right foot with my left hand, making sure, again, that both shoulders are connected to the ground. So I'm getting a really nice deep stretch along the outside of that right leg. Rights and lefts as teachers, man, it's so hard. Beautiful, taking one more breath here. And then slowly unraveling yourself to come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest for a little reset squeeze. And just do the other side. So right leg goes long. Whichever variation you chose to take, feel free to take it. Once again, being mindful that shoulders stay connected to the ground. Gaze might be going over that left shoulder. Maybe you close your eyes to draw the awareness within. Taking one more breath here. Slowly we make our way back to center. Hug those knees in towards your chest. Option to finish the class here or to give yourself a few moments in Shavasana. I'm going to allow the video to continue with a dark screen so that you can stay here without being disturbed a couple minutes more if you decide to stay. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope you will join me once again tomorrow for day 3 of our 14-day challenge. Thanks for being here.